Welcome to the Jacqueline Hayes Show. Empowered you, empowered living. She talks with amazing people, has amazing conversations, and hopes of helping you experience amazing joy, meaning, and purpose in your life. The Jacqueline Hayes Show is dedicated to helping people feel empowered, strong, valued, and joyful. On the show, we'll talk about what inspires, challenges, moves, and shapes us, and hopes that it will do the same for you. Our conversations will be lively, purposeful, and fun. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the show.
Hi friends, good day. Welcome to the Jacqueline Hayes Show. I hope you are well. As you know, it is my purpose to bring lots of good, amazing content to you to help you live your best, most amazing, beautiful life, to feel empowered, strong, and totally beautiful. And so I am super excited about today's episode of Jacqueline Hayes Show. I've got an amazing guest in the studio. She is just the dynamo of wisdom, and wisdom.
Sounds old.
Experienced and lovely. So I'm super excited to have my good friend Beverly Fells Jones in the studio. She's known as the Silver Fox of Consciousness. And we are going to have an amazing conversation about your belief systems. And here's our topic for today. Is your belief systems, are they serving you well or not? Right, friends? So as you're listening in, I want you to kind of posture your mental, spiritual, emotional space in a way to shift your attention from the outside in and think about your belief systems. And if you have any questions about what belief systems are, we're going to talk about them. Ms. Beverly is going to give you some insights, and we're going to have a great conversation talking about your belief systems. Are they serving you well or not? And so before we get into our wonderful, delicious, amazing conversation, let me tell you a little bit about Beverly Fells Jones. It's so hard to say that because I call her Miss Beverly. So Beverly Fells Jones, known as the Silver Fox of Consciousness, is an internationally known speaker on the topics of memory, empowerment, leadership, and success. She is the author of 4 best-selling books, including Manifesting the Life You Want, Prime Directives for Abundant Living, and Christianity, Christianity, the Law of Attraction, and the One Command, Bible Principles Revealed and Applied to Everyday Living. She was voted Best Speaker in Dallas on Memory and the recipient of the IRSA Podcaster of the Year Award. Beverly Fells Jones has been a feature presenter at conferences and personally trained over 2,000 people around the world. She brings her consultancy practice of 30 plus years of experience, which gives her the ability to get to the root cause. Did you hear that? The root cause of your life and business issues quickly and easily, my friend. So help me welcome Beverly Fells Jones to the Jacqueline Hayes Show. Ms. Beverly, thank you for being in. Hi.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited. Tickled.
I'm excited as well. Of course, before we actually started taping, I shared with you, I was like, there's so many things we could talk about and go in so many different directions. And so, because you're just a wealth of knowledge, experience, and just wonderful wisdom. And so, of course, we're going to have this conversation today. Your belief systems, are they serving you well or not? But please know that I want to have you back on the show to talk about several other topics that I think would enhance the quality of life of the audience.
Well, you know, I'm always open, and I would be glad to come back. Let's see how today goes. Anyway.
We're gonna have lots.
She's already started off talking wisdom. I go old. No, yeah, but that's okay. It's wonderful to be here. I am pleased.
Thank you for being here. It's my honor. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun just having a conversation. I think belief systems is a great topic for us to talk about today because I talk to so many people who don't realize how important it is to pay attention to their internal environment, or maybe not even aware that what's going on in there, and they're looking at their life and wondering, why am I not happy? Why am I unfulfilled? And why am I sad or just miserable? And so I think today's topic of talking about your belief systems, are they serving you well or not, even just having the conversation about belief systems, is a very timely and good topic to talk about, to give people the opportunity to realize that life is lived from the inside out, and to arm them with tools, information to help them, just experience a higher, better quality of life. So before we get into the topic, talking about belief systems, why don't you share with our listeners about just some more about who you are and what you do, the amazing things. I feel like I need to talk about that before I move on, because you're is so lovely.
Well, let's see where we start. I had a meeting with a gentleman, and he kind of asked me how I got started. And, I spent 29 years with IBM as started out in admin, moved myself into technical, became the first female program support rep, and I know you guys don't know what that is, but it was the first female to do debugging. So I was the person that when the computer system went down, I was the person that went in to figure out what was wrong.
Okay.
That was at a time when there weren't many females. In fact, no females, right, in that particular position. Mm-hmm. And so I got some pushback, sometimes, well, because I'm female, but also black female.
Okay.
Got pushback, but I survived it, right? And then I went on and realized that I really enjoyed teaching. So I became an instructor for IBM and taught from how to turn a computer on to how it worked internally.
Okay, so you went from an admin position to a technical position, debugging, to now a teacher, educator? All with IBM?
Well, with IBM in that 29 years.
29 years of service with them.
They offered a buyout. I couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
And then I went to work for Hewlett-Packard.
Okay.
Learned a whole new computer system, and taught from how it turned it on to how it worked. And became a consultant with them.
Okay.
And then they offered a buyout. I couldn't refuse. And I did that, became a contractor for them. And in the meantime, I started learning about the law of attraction, of which I had no belief of. We're talking belief systems. Correct. I said that stuff doesn't work. Whoever talked about it wasn't. But my girlfriend made me read the book, The Secret.
So what made you so resistant to it, thinking?
Because I said this stuff didn't work. I tried doing affirmations. They didn't work. I tried doing this.
I hear that a lot.
And it was just like,
Right.
But what people didn't tell me, or it wasn't out there, is I was doing it all wrong. Right? I was doing it right. Now, everybody understand, you do it right because you do it all the time. But when you tried to do it or tried to put something in place, you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. The natural things that when things show up in your life,
I like it.
We do it naturally because we have a natural desire.
Okay.
Napoleon Hill says you got to have a burning desire.
I love Napoleon Hill.
And so then I looked back and I said, when I was in college, way back when, one of the things was the clothing thing was a parka.
Okay.
All right. It's kind of like hoodies today, but then it was parkas. And my family were struggling to send me to college. So I didn't ask my mother or father for a parka.
Right.
I had my regular old winter coat. And one day I went to the student union to get my mail, and there was a thing that says you got a package. I said, "Oh, Mom sent me a care package, food."
Yeah.
But the box was too light. I got it back to the room. I opened it up. It was a pink parka. I tear up today because I go, Miss Grace, our neighbor, sent me a pink parka.
How did she know you wanted a pink parka?
That's what I always asked. How did she know?
You never told her?
Never told anyone.
Seriously?
But in my heart, I visualized wanting and wearing a parka. Not exactly pink, but
still a parka, right?
But it was still a parka. I didn't visualize the color. I was watching other people, the burning desire to have a parka. I was working, a student job, and I said, well, let me put a little money away and maybe I'll be able to buy one next season. But it came. And so once I started learning about the law of attraction, of course I went back to that incident and said, that's how it came. I didn't have to go tell anybody, but it was a burning desire that the universe figured out and said, okay, let's get it for her.
That is super powerful because that speaks to so many situations in my life where just that burning desire on the inside, my mind, heart, and spirit, where I just for me, my source is God. I want something. I want it bad. I can feel it, taste it, see it, experience it. I am so in it in my spirit until it's burning.
It's there.
It's
right.
It's there. It's there.
Feel it.
Feel it. And to your point, and this is so good. Maybe we should have this as our topic.
We'll just keep talking. We'll get there.
Right.
Because this is about belief.
Well, you know what? It is when you really look at it, because I didn't know how things were going to happen, but I was so clear I wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
I was so clear about that, right? And as soon as I would think about it at night, I would dream about it, wake up in the middle of the night looking just like, I feel it. We'll go on because I have several stories about that. So I totally relate to you in that regard. Yeah.
So that's why I said it didn't work. And then she bought me the book.
Okay.
Sat me down while we were at lunch and said, while we're waiting on lunch, read. And I was determined I was going to read till I saw the words law of attraction. Okay. And I saw the words, turned it to her, said, see? She said, read the book. Well, I trust her.
Okay.
She's a good friend. I go, just because it's you, I'll read the book. It changed my life. Going through it, I said, "That's why that worked. That's why that showed up." But the book itself doesn't tell you everything,
right? Because I've read the book several times.
Right, it does not tell you everything. Yeah. So I went on and started just researching, and I found, and there's tons of people out there teaching. I found Esther and Jerry Hicks with Abraham.
I went to an Abraham Hicks conference in New York, upstate New York.
Before Jerry passed, or
Jerry had not passed, but he wasn't at this particular presentation, and she is everything like on her videos, and it is super powerful. And that was on my list. I was like, I want to go see Abraham Hicks live and sit there in the audience, and
So I found them the Ask and It Is Given book, and then I found a book called The One Command, and I read it, and I started doing the techniques in it and stuff.
The One Command,
up. And so I learned it. I found the class in Waco. I took the class in Waco. The author was coming to Houston. I went to Houston for that 3-day class, and then I learned to be a practitioner and learned the technique. Okay. Went to Washington State, spent 18 days, being trained in how to counsel and coach people to make those changes in their belief systems, in that underlying program that's running in the background.
So to kind of go back to a comment you said earlier, like we all say when we try something to give something new, it goes like, oh, it didn't work for me. It's not working. It's like, well, there's a technique. There's a way of doing it, and where you should put your attention, where you should put your awareness, and where you should put your focus, which the book, from my perspective, I missed that. If it was in there, I missed it. Yeah. But I wonder, what I was thinking? I wonder if people couple the Law of Attraction book with Think and Grow Rich, because I read both, and when you think about how Napoleon Hill talks about his concepts, like the burning desire,
they're the same.
Yeah,
they're basically the same. The key with a lot of people with Think and Grow Rich, and I've met people, and they say, "Oh yeah, I read that book. It's okay." Somebody else, I read that book, but one person said, "I couldn't get through it." Oh. Somebody else will go, "Oh, I read that book and it was really good."
I read it several times.
Well, most people don't.
Because when you read it, the concepts are so kind of like out there. It's like, is it really true? But he talks with so much fervor and power when his words, like his words are so clean, right? And I've listened to it several times over, and I've taken notes, and I've applied the principles, and I've witnessed things like the Think and Grow Rich. I mean, I'm working on the rich part, but just seeing the things come to life from thinking about them in that way.
Right. Well, I tell most people,
I am rich. I am this great conversation with you. Yeah,
you're rich, totally. And you're abundant in many ways.
And I woke up this morning.
It might not be in the bank account yet, but the bank account will come. But the key is that you have to change the way you think and your belief system, because most of us are trained in I can't.
Which is an automatic default for us, right? Yeah.
Most of the time we're trained in that's impossible, right?
That's good.
And I just read a thing that says, in impossible, it is I'm possible.
I heard
right?
That too.
So it's like...
Did you hear that, listeners? In impossible, there is...
I'm possible.
Yep.
I am possible,
yeah.
Right? So it's there, but within his book, you're right, it's really deep, and you really need to, and you just can't just read it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Some people, and they'll pick up and they'll do it's chapter 2 where you set your goals and you write out how you're going to do it and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people just quit there. The other thing I realized is all these goal-setting classes, the people teaching goal-setting and everything, comes from straight out of chapter 2.
And you know what? The goal setting is only good if the belief system is strong,
That's
right? Because it's not there. The ground isn't.
You can set that goal.
You can
and you can look at it.
I know.
And you can go, yeah, but